How's everybody doing? Sorry, I'm just putting some hand lotion on. How are y'all doing? Have y'all recovered yet from seeing that movie about them witches? Child. They got everybody just out here bawling. Meanwhile, I am joining the crew of people that are holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. Let's get into it. Take 97. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome, bienvenue, welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to follow me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on, I feel like I have, it's just a gray hair. If you would like to follow me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting, same on Threads, or on Ravelry as Piece4Peace Craft. And if you like music and you would like to follow along to the playlist that goes with this silly little podcast, you can do so by following the Piece4Peace podcast playlist over on Spotify. Excuse me for one moment. I have to turn this fan off. You all, we're already starting off. It's a hot mess. It is a hot mess. Okay, I'm back. I'm not editing any of that out because there's a hot mess. How's everyone doing? I know, it's not my week, or my weekend that I normally podcast, but here in the States, last week was a holiday, and so I took a rather long weekend, and I was out of town, so I couldn't podcast. I actually went and visited some family out in Washington, D.C., which I realized once I was there, like I've been there a couple times, but like maybe for 24 hours or less than that, maybe a little bit more than that. So I hadn't properly been there for about 8 years, which is crazy. So, yeah, I was like spending time with family and going to museums and doing the whole thing. So I couldn't podcast last weekend, but I wanted to at least, and then like I decided to do something crazy and I flew back early in the morning one day this week and literally got off the plane with my suitcase and went straight to work. So yeah, just the like timing for podcasting wasn't really, it just wasn't going to work out. So I thought I would do this weekend just to like get you all caught up on some whips that I'm working on. And then I would come back next weekend, which would technically normally be my normal weekend for podcasting. So in a week's time, and hopefully show you some of these things finished, show you some things that I have, just have like taken the back burner for a minute because I want to get other things done because I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit, not crunch time, but like crunch time. Yeah, and so I feel like the next episode will be a little bit more of a better flow. But I do want to get you all caught up, some things that I'm working on. Other than that, Mother Nature is showing off for us here. Outside it is winter, but in here it's so hot. It's cold, and I'm happy that we collectively have a hobby that can keep us warm. So while it is cold, I'm like, it's cool. I feel bad for the dog though, because I put one of his sweaters on for the first time this year, and of course, he's like, ugh, what's going on? He loves it though. And it's just like, he's just so little, and he got a haircut a couple weeks ago, and so like his hair's a little bit shorter, and I'm not gonna bring him up because he's like passed out right now. But if it's so cold for me, it's gotta be so cold for him. Like, even with his sweater on, I'm like, it feels like -4. Like, you're cold. I know you are. So like, our walks haven't really been as fun as they could be. Although today it was 40 degrees, which I know some people will still think that 40 is like really cold, but here in Chicago, 40 degrees, that's like, people are in shorts because it feels good. So that's that. Anywho, all right, you all, all I have today for you all are some whips. I love that you all come back for all of this. All I have for you all today is some whips. This is one of my Ceej hats. I showed this last time. It's in Naughty Habit yarns, South African yarn. I love it. I don't remember the color. I think I talked about it last episode or the episode before. Colors and things like that. It's one of my favorite hats. I love that other friends of mine are making these for their partners. Also the Teenie Weenie Beanie. They're just great hats if you like wearing, or you know someone in your life that likes wearing their hats in this fashion. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm missing something. 3 whips, 2 future cast-ons to talk to you all about today. I'm having some, I don't remember what kind of tea it is, but it's like chamomile and lavender. Oh, it's so tasty. Okay, first things first. I told you all that I was working on a friend spin with Kevin of Needles at the Ready and my friend Carrie of The Creative Obsession. All of my yarn has been spun onto 3 separate bobbins. I am using fiber from Feederbrook Farms. It is 100% BFL. And I've spun them onto 3, or spun that fiber onto 3 bobbins. I'm currently in the process of plying it. If I'm being honest, I wish I could show you the bobbin that I'm plying right now. I have to stop watching TV while I'm doing this. It is so janky and uneven. The bobbin is a full hot mess. But this other one, my first one that I applied, looks pretty good. So this is how it is plying up. I'm rather enjoying it. I like that you can see that there's different little blips of the different colors. So a little bit of brown, a little bit of that orange. It's blue, but it's green, if that makes sense. I don't know. Hopefully my lights are picking up the color well enough right now. I'm recording a little bit later in the day. So yeah, these are on some, what's the name of this? Acreworks? I don't know. I'll link the company below for the bobbins because I do love them. They're like 3D printed. So I'm going to finish plying this. I'm looking at my second bobbin right now on my wheel and it's almost full. So I think I'm going to get about 3 bobbins worth. Because the 3 bobbins that I started with were pretty full when I spun my singles, I do think that I'm going to get about 3 bobbins worth for once I'm done plying it. I think my bobbins can hold about 4 ounces of fiber. So yeah, maybe I would say that this spin is a little bit under 12 ounces. I'm not really sure what weight I'm getting just quite yet, because I do have a feeling that this is going to plump up a little bit once I'm done spinning it. I tried to go for like a sportish weight, so we shall see. So that's thing one. This is, to me, is like still a work in progress because it has just been plied. I still have more to ply. Next time I'll show it to you once it's washed. And maybe even next time, let me not get too ambitious. I was gonna say maybe I'll have cast on the project that is gonna be for. All right, next up, let's do a bit of progress on my little baby blanket. So if you all remember last time I was telling you that, oh, and I found a needle. I found a crochet hook at work. Why it was there, I don't know. Anywho, it's currently living inside of this ball of yarn. So I'm using this comfy cotton blend from Lion Brand, and it is one of these little cakes is 7 ounces and it's 392 yards. It's a 3-weight, so about a DK. Yeah, that's right. And this is in the color sterling. No, it's not. It's silver lining. And yeah, it's a 50% cotton, 50% polyester blend. And so I'm taking this. I had 6 balls of this from yarn that was gifted to me. And I thought originally that I was going to use all 6 to... Oh, wait. Maybe I had 7. I thought that I was going to use all of them to make this baby blanket. And I am about 2.5 in. Oh, you all, I'm crocheting this with a 6mm or a J hook. And I'm just using like... Again, I don't mind if it unravels a little bit because crochet is so easy to fix. But I'm not following a pattern. I know that a waffle stitch takes 3 stitches. And so I just like cast on, not an even number, but a set of 3. And I've just been working on, oh my God, it's so good. The texture's awesome. Have just been working on just a simple baby blanket. And so this currently is 2.5 balls of that, and I think I might just finish this 3rd ball that I'm working on, see how it is, and call it a day. I think it might be plenty big. If not, I may tap into a 4th and add a little bit more, but it's like kind of big. I don't want it to be massive. Maybe I do. I don't want it to be massive, but I don't want it to be too small either. Anywho, I'm loving it. I love the waffle stitch. I think it's so pretty and it makes for, yeah, just a really nice fabric. I had someone reach out and tell me that I should, which fair, think about, especially when kids are really little, that their fingers can get caught in here and maybe that could like hurt them or something. And I appreciate that. It was something, I don't have kids, so it was something that it was nice to be like, oh yeah, that probably is a thing that I should look out for. And so I don't think that like this fabric is too holy. And yeah, I'm planning on making a few blankets to send to my former roommates because I love them and this is their first child, and so they need a lot of funkle, that's funkle, things from me. Well, that child's gonna need a lot of fun things from me. So that's that. And so with that, I was going through my stash or like through the books that I have, and I've had this for a really long time, but it's a baby Afghan book. I think I picked this up at Michael's. a long time ago. It was put out through Leisure Arts, and it's a little booklet by, excuse me, by Candy Jensen. And this little book has, I think, five little baby Afghans. And so once I was told that, I was like, okay, since I'm going to be making some other things, maybe I will go look at this book and see like what are some fun things that I could do. And so I want to go back. I've made a few of these a number of times, and so one of them for sure is going to be this. I have a lot of like scrap, sort of worsted weight, maybe even a couple DK, acrylics, Vanish Choice type things that are just around, and I can use them to just, one, get rid of them, and to like whip up some of these little baby Afghan blankets really quickly. And so what I've done is, while I was out one day, I went to Aunt Joanne's because I was buying fabric because, like I said earlier, it's cold here and I want to make myself some longer pants. A lot of the pants that I was making at the end of summer, beginning of fall, were 3/4 length pants. This is such a tangent. Were 3/4 length pants. And so I realized as I've been wearing them and the temperature's been dropping, baby boy, when that wind hits those ankles, I'm cold. So I need to make some pants that go all the way to the floor. So I was going to pick up some denim to make myself just like a pair of denim pants, a couple pairs of denim pants. And I was like, oh, you have that book. You should just get like a solid color so that you can make some other little blankets for this little nugget that's coming. And so what I did, I just walked down one of the aisles and I picked up this big twist, and it's 100% acrylic. It's find your words. It's 1,093 yards, 17.6 ounces. And so with this, I believe that this is going to be enough to get me, this will be the base color. So this is just a medium gray. And this is going to be the base color for two baby blankets that I'm going to make. This is one of them. So this is, does it have a name? They have to have names. So this is Colorful Circles, and it's designated to be an easy number. So just some fun little circles. I can't wait. So the white will be the gray, and then the second one that I'm gonna make is this granny stripe blanket. Oh, this is such a fun make too, but just taking some scraps, and so the gray will here again be the cream or the white, and just taking some fun scraps that I have and making a little baby blanket for this little nugget. I think that the two blankets that are coming out of this book are going to be like same color vibes, just two different blankets. And one of them is crocheted on a J or 6mm hook again, and the other one is going to be, I think the circles is a tighter gauge, but they both use the same yarn. Yeah, so that's a 5.5mm or a I9 hook. And so yeah, I'm excited to, first of all, I'm happy that I have this book just like in my crafting library, I guess. And it's a good one for me to come back to since I've made a lot of the things in it before. I think I've made 3 of the 5. I just, honestly, I can't remember if I've made one of them or not. So I'm going to go with 3 of the 5 patterns that are in here. So, and I know that these will whip up very quickly. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so that's my spinning and my crochet. Next thing is a tiny bit of knitting that I've been doing. Oh my gosh, as it falls. All right, so Everything was beautiful at the ballet. All right. So, the last time we were together, I think I showed you all my finished skein of Handspun that was using that sock set from 316 Dye Studio. I don't have, oh, yes I do. Yeah, Dye Studio. Their fiber, and this is an 80s kid, so I spun this up, and oh my gosh, you guys, I used my, it's on the table, my little Dreaming Robots yardage calculator tool thing that I bought. Fabulous. You could like, I could put in like, oh, this is how many reps per inch I was getting, wind it up. It's telling me, it's giving me a more accurate count of how much yardage I have. And then when I went to split my little, or the mini, I'll say, when I went to split that in half, you can program in like how many grams you, oh no, how many yards you want to stop at. And so like all I had to do was wind, and once it got to that yardage, it beeped and I could stop, I could snip it, and then I had 2 even cakes. So that was really cool. I will say for my larger skein, I think that I misread something, and I put the numbers in wrong because the cakes were not even, and it was a little bit of a disaster, but it's fine. I figured out, when I show you what I've been working on, I'll tell you how I remedied it. So here is just a reminder. Here's one of the little minis of, this was the mini. So this has been split in 2. It's getting a, this definitely was a fingering, and the main skein was more of like a fingering sportish. And this is what I have left. This looks horrible because I literally just stuck it in the Ziploc bag. This is what I have left of that main skein. I need to rewind this and weigh it and see how much I have left. And it's so awesome because now I can just put it through my little thing while I'm re-scanning it, and it'll tell me how many yards I have, which is so, you know, sometimes we buy things, tools for our crafts, and it ends up being such a great thing. All right, so I don't think that you have seen any of this unless you follow me on Insta, but I started these and then took them with me for my trip. And here, oh my God, here are the socks I have so far. So I used that bright neon pink for the toes and the cuffs, and then this, the body of it, was just the main skein. And so what ended up happening was, because they were 2 uneven cakes, one was significantly smaller. I should have been paying more attention, but here we are. And so I figured, since I was caking it, where I snipped it became the inside of the second ball, right? So like I caked up one, and then I snipped it, and then I started caking the other one. So like that would have been the continuation. The outside of one became the inside of the other. Are you following me? And so what I did was, so that I could get them, so that the color would be more even. I can't remember which one I did it on actually. It would be even and stay true. From one, I pulled from the inside, and from the second one, I pulled from from the smaller one, I pulled from the outside. So then once I was finished with it, I could just start pulling from the outside of the main one, and that would have been the color that was on the inside of the first one. That sounds very confusing, but it ended up making it so that the gradient kept going in its correct order. And I made these a little bit longer than normal. Like, as you can see, when I fold it, the main comes almost basically to the top of, or to the end of the toes. Usually I try to do my socks with it like this so they fold evenly. But I did them just a little bit longer. I was gonna keep going, but I didn't want the socks to be too long. They are a little bit thicker, so I think that they will be great in like my winter shoes, which is gonna be great. These, even though they are a pinch thicker, I still knit them on a US 1, so 2.25. I do them 2 at a time. I did them toe up. I ended up doing about 15-ish rows for the cuff. My bind off is pretty bad, but I'm hoping that when I block it and then put it on the blockers, it'll work itself out. And I have picked up for my heels. So literally all I have left to do are the heels on these, and then they will get a nice soak and a bath. So this fiber was 100% Corriedale. I do think that it will probably felt some when I start wearing them. I don't intend on wearing them like, you know, a ton, but I think over time, just with the heat and being in like a winter shoe, because they are a little bit thicker and it's cold here, yeah, they may felt some, so they might shrink a little bit. We'll see when we get there, but I'm really excited about this. I love how these have knit up. Again, it's so fun to be in a point in my crafting where I'm like making the yarn, you know, like buying the fiber, spinning it, making the yarn, and then using it for projects that then I can wear. It is a little bit slower of a process, but I don't know. It's fine. We got time. We're just out here making things. So these are my socks. Hopefully in a week's time, I will have these finished and be able to show them to you. These, if you've been here, you know, have been living in a beautiful sister bag. We love. All right. So that's the knitting. Oh no, there's one more thing. Before I get to the next, so I showed you my crochet future cast on, and I do have one other knitting future cast on that I want to chat with you all about. But before I talk about that, in the last episode was it the last? I think so. The last episode, there were some prize winners. And I just want to say that I did receive everyone's emails or Instagram messages. And I think for the Instagram, I liked it. For the emails, you all, life has been life. I've been traveling. It's been a whirlwind. And so I haven't gotten back to everyone. Just know that I've received your emails and things will be in the mail shortly. Now that I'm home, I went and I acquired boxes from the post office. And so this weekend, fingers crossed, and this upcoming week, I'm gonna start packing things up and getting those out in the mail so that you can hopefully have them before the next round of holiday things comes. There's that. All right, now the last thing is, wait, am I sitting on it? No, I'm not sitting on it. Oh, this is it. All right, so the last thing, you all, is I've had some stuff in stash, and I know like I have other things that I'm working on, but I've had some stuff in stash where I just wanted to like test it out and play around with it, so at least I know if I'm gonna enjoy it or not, or if I need to be giving it away. So with that being said, I bought yarn for a vest for next year's Rhinebeck, but I don't know if I'm a vest person. We're gonna find out. People in my life say that I am, and so I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. So what I've done is I took some of this yarn that I had and I swatched for the, what is this called? Montpellier Slipover. It's by November Knits. There's a lot of things written on this because because I had to do some converting. Okay, so where's the picture? It's in black and white, so sorry about that. But this is what it looks like, okay? It's oversized. It's chunky. It's knit with like, I don't even know. Anyway, the gauge is 16 stitches on a 5 mil. So it's open, it's big. And so what I did was I had this, it's a merino. I don't know the color, you all. I'm sorry. Malabrigo, right? It's just been in my stash. This was gifted to me. It is a variegated blue. It's pretty. I'm like, I don't know what I would do with that, so yikes. But then I was also gifted, which they don't even make anymore. This is a Knit Picks Surrey. I know, you heard me correctly. This is a Knit Picks Surrey. And I believe on the tag, it's somewhere around me in this mess. It was 74% Surrey alpaca, 20-something percent wool, and then the rest of it was nylon. So I was like, oh, maybe if I hold these two, and it's in a dark blue, right? Almost black. If I hold these two together, maybe that would give me something fun. And so what I did is I swatched. And this is what I was getting with said, oh my gosh, it's so dark. You can barely even see it. This is what I was getting with that swatch, right? So like every now and then you are getting that blue peeking through. And I couldn't decide on if I was feeling that or not. It's like, I don't know about this. So that just fell on the floor. I had the same amount of yarn in this Malabrigo. Now this is giving you dark greens and dark blues. And I was like, okay, let me try it with this because maybe this is also variegated. I have no idea what I would do with this. Maybe I should just be giving it away because somebody else could it might be their jam. And so I did half of my swatch and then I switched colors and I did this other half of my swatch in that green, blue, and you all, this is basically black. Like when it's all said and done. So the whole swatch, this would have been the bottom. The whole swatch ended up looking like this, right? I did the blue flat because part of the pattern is knit flat. And then when I switched colors, I did the green and the round. And since they're both the same weight and it was the same yarn, I figured that would be fine for me to find my gauge. I think that my gauge is about 15 stitches, not 16. So I'm a little bit looser of a gauge, but I'm fine with that. I don't mind if it is a little bit bigger on me because I feel like with it being worsted and it being Surrey, it's going to be hot. If you see the pattern, it has a turtleneck. I won't be doing the turtleneck. I'll probably do just like a little mock turtle. And yeah, it's gonna need to be longer for me because I'm taller than the person who knit or is like shown in the pattern. Actually, where did that go? And I think there's a cool little detail. Yeah, there's like a ribbing looking. You can't really see, but there's like a fun little ribbing detail that like goes around like from the armhole like down the side of the vest. And so I think it's cute. I think it's gonna be awesome, but I was just having trouble deciding. And so I took it to work. I asked people at work that I trust what they think, and they were like, oh, the blue is definitely the way to go. And honestly, I agree. I think that this is like, you may as well just use black yarn. So I think I'm gonna workshop just using this. It almost gives me like a fish scale vibe, just the way that it peeks through. And so I'm gonna workshop it. I'm gonna see how it goes. Mostly because like I have it in stash and I want to get rid of it. Are there 50 other sweaters I want to be making? Yes, but I think just for where my head's at right now and me being all over the place, just craft wise, I'm like, let me just start casting on a vest, even though I have another sweater that's, oh my God, hilarious. That's in blue sitting up. Actually, I'm gonna pick up both. There, I solved it. So this is a future knit. I just wanted to get it on the, swatch to see like where it would be. And so I don't mind doing that. Like to me, I'm going to swatch most of like 95% of the time I'm going to swatch. And so this just gives me a little bit more information for when I do finally get around to making it. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. A vest on the way before I start my vest for, well, next October. That's so far away. I say that, but it's about to be the new year, like in days. All right, so that's that. That's all the knitting, crocheting, spinning content I have for you. The last thing that I will leave you all with this semi-shorter episode is a music recommendation. Now, I was listening to, where was I driving to? Oh, it was before I went out of town. I was taking Kendrick. He was going to go stay with a friend of mine while I was gone. Excuse me. And while I was, excuse me, driving on, I don't remember the program. Maybe it was Fresh Air. Was that Terry? It could have been Terry Gross. Anyway, she had someone on and they were talking about George Gershwin. And so, whatever. I was listening to it, loving it. Just like, I think the guy wrote a book maybe about Gershwin and his brother. It doesn't matter. So my music recommendation this week is going to be, well, because they mentioned it, is Ella Fitzgerald sings the Gershwin Songbook, and this is volume 1. I think there's 2 volumes to this. It was really cool because they were talking about people who lived in this time period, like doing songbook collections, and I thought that was really fascinating because I feel like, and I don't know everything, so correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like we don't really do that anymore. Like, oh, I'm going to sing whatever, this blah, blah, blah songbook. Maybe if you're like giving a concert or something. Anywho, I just thought that was so neat. And so, yeah, I remember that I think I have another one too, of her singing someone else's songbook. Probably a couple, actually. So anyway, this is Ella Fitzgerald doing Gershwin Songbook. This is volume 1. And so some fun little ditties I would recommend off of this are... Oh, I just had them before I started this video. Oh, The Man I Love. So good. And Nice Work If You Can Get It. And Lorelei. I love that song. Yeah, this is such a fun album. Okay, so again, The Man I Love, Nice Work If You Can Get It, Lorelei. I will add those into the playlist that's over on Spotify. So if you would like to check them out, you can feel free to do that. Hopefully I'll be able, from there, then you can go and listen to the whole album. Yeah, good times, Great Lakes, pure Michigan. That's all I have for you all for this episode. I hope that everyone is doing well. If you're in the States, hope you made it through. The first, not the first, is technically the second in 3 months for big holidays here. I know that there are other holidays that are around this time of year. I know. That you made it through Turkey Day. Okay. And especially as we gear up for all of our winter holidays that are coming up, I hope everyone is, getting their mind right. Don't stress yourself out if you're trying to make things for people, especially for these people who are not knit-worthy. Do not do it. For those that are knit-worthy, I hope that you have a head start on it. I actually need to make a Christmas stocking for someone that I forgot about. So I got to get my butt into gear and get that going. Hopefully I can start that and get that done this week so that I can give it to them so then they can hang up all their stockings at their house. You all, I'm going to be back in a week. So take care of yourself. Take a deep breath. Drink some water. If it's warm where you are, go outside. If it's cold where you are, go outside. Just dress appropriately. Go for a walk. In the time of this video and the next one, take yourself on a walk. Clear your head a little bit And we'll get together in a week's time on one of my normal weekends. And until then, make a piece, spread some peace. Peace.